Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're gonna have a pretty short and sweet video here with Benton. I've put a couple more rides on him. I think this is like ride 6 or 7 now. I wanted to put a total of at least 5 rides on him before winter, but we're getting a little bit farther than that. However, I would like him to have a go and stop button and go from side to side before we turn him out for the winter. And so I'm kind of gonna go over what we have done up to this point and what we're gonna work on today. We've kind of had a little slow down with moving and everything like that, so we haven't done Benton's Life to Fame videos here in a little bit, so we're going to do a little update on that now that he's picked up weight and things like that. So here we go. Today we're going to ride with the bareback pad on to simulate putting on a cinch, just because the last three times, well actually I take that back. I think I've only rode him with a cinch type situation once, if I can remember. But today we are going to add that on there, since the last 2 times we have rode, it has been with just bareback and a lot of times bridleless too. That was my baby. Okay. My goodness. Okay, so we're gonna cinch this up. When I cinch that up, we're gonna put this on. I have not rode him in a bit. I have put the rubber bit in his mouth, I think twice so far. I'm not really worried about a bit until after winter, because that is when we will really start doing a lot of riding in a saddle and stuff like that. Let me get my reins here all figured out. So pretty much all we've done so far is sitting on him, putting weight on him, letting him walk around. I've kind of tugged on his face and done a little bit of lateral work here and there. So that's been really good. I'm just gonna leave that through there. So flexing from side to side, vertical flexion, things like that. I haven't really asked him to go forward but a couple steps, so he really doesn't know what forward means or stop means. I will say as well that when I am training my own colts, I really take my time with all of this, trying to get them prepared and stuff. So I take all the time in the world to do all this, and it is a slow process with my own horses. And so I really get down to the nitty-gritty of, I'll sit on them 4, 5, 6 rides without asking them to do anything, and then I'll do 2, 3 rides of just flexion, and then we'll go into backing up and just slowly escalate on things. So we'll see how far we can get today. And when they are my own horses and I'm gonna have them for a while, so this will be his first winter that we've started doing things on, since he is 2. I'm gonna do a few more rides of getting him pretty okay handled. So as far as flexing, I would like him to walk and stop and turn each way at the minimum we're gonna turn him out for the winter and then bring him back up in spring and really hit him hard then. So now we're just trying to get the bare minimum basics down right before winter. I know, honey, I know. I know. So let's get on. I also do like to use a mounting block or fence or something. Can I get on you? Okay. So we'll do with what we can here. You're not helping. Okay, now that we're on, my saddle pad's all crooked. Okay, I will say that he did fairly well for that. That's the first like actual jolt of a mount that I've ever done to get on top of him. As far as like pushing and pulling, the mare I have as a client horse right now, she does not tend to that very well. She doesn't like pulling and tugging on her, which isn't a big deal to me right now. This is only her second ride as far as all that goes. So I do let him move around and things as much as he wants for the beginning. So there we go. All that stuff right there that I just did, she will not let me do that at the moment. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go into flexing. He's very narrow, but we're just going to move into flexing. We haven't done this in the last 2 or 3 rides. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yes, good boy. Flexing left and right, left and right. I'll do that about a couple times. Just kind of a refresher. I really want a nice, soft pull around. He struggles with his left a little bit. He struggles a little bit, but I can still pull him around with 2 fingers, so that is what I really like. But again, we're doing bare minimum until spring. Then when we pull him up, we'll really start fine-tuning and building on just that minimum basics. Then we'll really get into side passing and things like that. I know a lot of people, when they train, they try to get all of that in a few months. But if they're going to be with me and they're staying with me for a couple years, I don't get in any hurry about doing any of that. He just kind of side passed by himself. Let's see if he'll let me fix this and get it out of his eye. Here we go. Okay, so now I know you can't really see my reins, but we're gonna work on flexing that vertical. There we go. So I hold my reins like this when I'm doing that, and I just really loosely ask for a give. I'm very, I don't want to say sloppy, but the vertical flexion is what most horses have an issue with, in my opinion. They really get to backing up. So he's very sensitive in the face. I know you can't see that right now, and I apologize. Let's see if we can ask him to turn sideways over here. Up. Okay, that's a little better at least. So they have a lot of problems with pressure on the face. That's why I like to take my time, and I really just try to kind of guide as light as possible, because he can feel this right here. You can see that it's bugging him. But when he's tugging back, I'm not going to crank backwards to me. I'm just going to hold that pressure until he understands that that little amount of pressure means to give. Because if I keep tugging and I keep tugging, then what's going to happen is once he moves and I let go of that pressure, he's going to think that what that little amount of pressure was supposed to mean actually means that big amount of pressure is what got him that relief. And so we want him to work off the littlest amount of pressure as possible. So I'm going to get where he feels that, and I'm going to hold it until we get the correct response. Right now he's trying to figure it out. He kind of gave then, so we're going to reward that. He put his head down. We're going to reward that too. I really like to massage the mane a little bit. But we just want that light amount of pressure, and that light amount of pressure should just be that right there, and he can feel it. You can see his response to not wanting that pressure. Now, I don't know if you can hear me very well, but I am working on the flexing. So when you see me pat him on the butt as a reward, that means he's doing what I'm asking him to. Up, up. So now what I'm doing, since he's doing so well, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of leg cue to go either direction. So I'm going to add with my other side, and we're going to go this way. But what I'm going to do is add it first, give my verbal cue, and then ask with the rein. So my rein is always going to be my last Because remember, we want to rely on our body, not our hands. So let's apply this. Leg, up, up, hand, up. Just like that. So you're going to continuously do that until they get it. And you'll do that both sides. So once I get turning down, then I really work on whoa and back up before I work on going forward. So I work on going forward last on everything I do because horses naturally go forward. And a lot of things go wrong or happen to go wrong when you ask them or they are going forward. So that way less things are going to go wrong if I'm asking them to do everything else first. Because if they're going forward, that's when a lot of things start to go wrong. So I want that direction, either or side, and then I want the backup, and then I want the go forward. Because going forward is easy to teach. All horses know that by heart because they were born with it. So that is not a concern to me. But the whoa is the biggest thing for me. Before I start asking them to go forward, they have to know how to stop and back up. The biggest thing about that is safety reasons. Because of Jake and all of our issues with him, then, I started changing my protocol. Why do I do turning either direction before I ask for the whoa and back up? So the biggest thing is, see if I can grab my phone. Now that you got somewhat of a video of it, the biggest thing to me is that when something happens, when something goes wrong, what's the number one thing that most people tell you to do when you're riding horses? And that is to turn them in a circle, do a one rein stop or something. That is one of the biggest things as a trainer, or if you're doing something with a specific horse, do a one rein stop, turn them into a circle, all those things. What's the next thing? Make them stop and back up, things like that. But the most functional on a horse that doesn't quite know how to do a whole lot is to turn them either direction. Once they get that down, it's easier to shut a horse down that way. So that is why I teach to give the head and to follow the head first before I ask them to back up or go forward, because backing up is more difficult than turning in a circle. So I'm trying to implement my safety features first before then we get into going in forward direction. Jake! He's very upset right now. Bedtime. So that's pretty much where we're at right now with Benton's life training right now. Now that we've kind of got a little bit of the softness going on, we're applying leg aid to go either or. And then we kind of talked about going forwards and backwards and all those things. So you kind of know the step I'm teaching them in. But I'm going to put a couple more rides on him, go in each direction. And then when we apply the whoa and back, I will do another video specifically on that. And then we'll do one about going forward and things like that. So I'm hoping to touch on those things before we go into winter. So that way, we got at least a good basic before we hit spring. So, that is just, don't you bite him. So that is, just kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. It's not the best training video I got right now. I don't really have an arena or anything out here. A lot of things have changed. So, I just kind of wanted to do a video with Benton because it's been a hot minute. And even though a lot hasn't been going on, I just wanted to keep y'all in the loop for right now. So y'all kind of know the plan now. And I guess I'm going to ride him for just a little bit more longer, and then I'm going to get on Big Dum Dum here. And we're going to go for a ride in the pasture because he's very upset that we're not riding. So we'll see y'all guys next time.